In fact, let me take it across to Jayesh Mehta. He's joining us today on ET Now, the MD and Country Treasurer of Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Hi Jayesh, good evening. This is Ruchi Bhatia. So in line with what the street was expecting, the government announces a borrowing program for the second half at 5.03 lakh crore rupees, and this despite a very robust set of tax revenues coming in the last couple of months. How are you looking at this number and how the street is set to react to it tomorrow?
Hi, Ruchi. I think you'll see, today evening there was all smiles on the bond traders. Basically, 5 is what people were expecting to be more optimistic. Of course, anything more than 5, maybe a 6 range would have been a problem, or maybe 5.5 would have been a different situation. So 5 is what in completely, as you said, is in line with what market was looking forward to. And I'm personally more bullish, so I actually think we might actually end up seeing a little bit lesser than that. But yeah, the 5 number per se is a good number. The street would be really happy about this. Of course, market did react today. There was some nervousness, so yields did went up. I think a lot of them will recoup tomorrow.
I want to ask you, given the fact that we are seeing a very robust set of tax revenue collections, and even though the government has kept the borrowing program unchanged now, do you see a possibility of perhaps some sort of a revision coming in, a cut, if I should call it so, in the borrowing program in December, when the government will have a better sense on their revenues and also the kind of money that they are set to get in from from not just tax side, but also your privatization and disinvestment as well?
No, I completely agree. That's what, I personally think, but I don't think the market is still thinking about that line. But I personally think that they will definitely not borrow that entire 5.03 lakh crore. Maybe they will actually reduce it. Now, whether they do it by actually reducing it in December, that's a little, I would give 50-50 weightage, but definitely I am quite optimistic because, right now, none of the disinvestment is taken into account. What we saw in the first quarter on the tax collection, I think that itself is also going to come out quite robust, right? So from that perspective, by December tax collection, and again, to spend so much of money is not that easy, right? So I think I'm quite confident, like last year also, we had reduced. Similarly, we would kind of reduce at the end by at least maybe 50,000 crores or so.
Absolutely. But given the fact that the government seems to be pushing the pedal on a lot of spending, in fact, they have, done away with the caps, withdrawn the restrictions from various ministries as well. Do you believe that the government, in that sense, is keeping a buffer by keeping the borrowing program unchanged? Because if need be, if they do have to spend, whether it's on capex or the third wave of COVID, if it hits, then they have enough funds available for them.
No, absolutely. And, last month, we heard that they've been saying all ministries don't worry about funds, spend. But, as I said, one is the wishful thinking of spending, but whether the spending really materializes within 6 months, that's an important call. And I don't think that happens so quickly. The planning itself takes a lot of time. And so from that perspective, yes, we're going to see some surplus. Of course, for the budgeted expenses, that will happen. But any new spending, which is, the buffer they have kept, so that they don't say no to any ministry which come forward for any capex or any kind of investments to be done. So they would like the ministries to do it. If they are able to do it, that's great, but looks difficult.
Jayesh, how hopeful are you that we are going to close in much lower than the 6.8% fiscal deficit target that has been set out for FY22?
So as I said, same thing, right? So the tax collection, I think December number would surprise people on the upside. With the robust tax collection formalization of economy as everybody is seeing it. that's definitely improving your tax collection. At the same time, as I said, like the budgeted spend would be there, but then any new spend takes a lot of planning time, right? So I'm not sure about any new spend coming up very quickly. In terms of revenue side, even if they did announce that LIC might get deferred to next year or so, but even if they get one or two disinvestment done on the public sector side, that itself right now is not factored in bigly. So, so that your tax collection, plus even if you get one or two disinvestment done, we would be surprised on the borrowing coming down. And that's what I would hope for, because I'm kind of quite hopeful that the collections are going to be quite robust, and I'm quite also hopeful that they will go to one or two divestments also.